I've done a lot of murals in smaller communities, and it's always a conversation.
It's very rewarding to have the community rally behind you.
It's an honor. My whole family lives here.
There's one thing that I have never been, and it is I've never been a shy person, so I think that translates into my art.
Nobody from the community walks up into my studio and says, "Great job, we're really happy with this." That never happens. But if you're out here, you do that all day long.
After I'm gone, this belongs to the neighborhoods and residents and businesses here, and I want them to feel connected to it and proud of what they have.
I got a campsite for 10 days at Chain of Lakes and get to paint every day. It's like my dream come true, literally.
We hope that it gives everybody a sense of pride here and a sense of belonging.
I think that a lot of my work is very, universally appealing.
When I saw the scale of the wall, I knew it was going to be an epic challenge.
We are very passionate about painting murals around the world.
Hi, I'm Krista Miller with ABC21. Thank you for joining us on this special project, Northeast Indiana Painted. 11 days, 11 counties, 11 murals. A lofty goal even before COVID-19 for the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership and their project, Make It Your Own Mural Fest, bringing in different artists with different backgrounds, different ideas, and different homes to make Northeast Indiana their home, at least temporarily, leaving a permanent mark behind. I want to invite you along as we make our own trail across 21 country, visiting each mural, hearing about the inspiration behind them, and what the communities think about this new centerpiece for them. Each mural is a representation of that special something about the community. Geneva is maybe a 20-minute drive from Decatur, so it's just straight shot on 27 all the way down.
Perfect. And I hear the artist is actually from Geneva.
He was born in Geneva, which is so neat. It's such a small community, so the fact that this artist was born in Geneva and is coming back to do the mural, that's pretty cool.
The Limberlost is a marsh. Something like restoring this marsh is one of the most important ecological things in this area.
With the name Limberlost, we have so many businesses, at least 6 businesses that have Limberlost in their name, so it kind of just marries it all together. Small towns, and all small towns across Indiana, I'm sure, or United States as far as that goes, there's always a financial concern. Do we spend our money on something like that, or we really need to repair our streets? So for us to be able to get this and bring pride and excitement, everybody's been excitement. There was benches lined up over there, and so this has been a good morale booster for the town of Geneva.
I've done a lot of murals in smaller communities, and it's always a conversation, always. I always have one idea of what I want on the wall, and other people have other ideas of what they want on the wall, and then you come together, you talk about it, you compromise and come up with something that works for everybody, and that's really part of the game, and I feel like because I come from a smaller community, because I am sort of adept to talking to people in smaller communities, I feel like that's a strength of my work.
It's got to feel incredible to be able to make this very public art display in the place you were born.
Well, sure. I mean, but it's more than just like coming back to the town I was born in. My family is still around the area, so a lot of the people here know me, even if I don't remember who they are. They come back and they tell me, "Oh, I knew you when you were yay big," and it's been a really fun experience to get to see people I haven't seen in decades, and it's been really positive, and everybody's been really supportive. We've had a great crowd out here every day that I've been out here painting, so it's been a lot of fun. You want to add something to it?
Can I?
Absolutely. So all you got to do is just put the can close to the wall and press the nozzle and drag it down.
Okay. Wait, you said right like from
wherever,
okay.
you're good.
Oh my God.
It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's just grass. It's cool. Do another one.
Okay.
A little closer to the wall. And move a little bit slower.
I heard that. Slower?
A little closer to the wall and a little slower.
Okay.
There you go.
I went over your
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, background, foreground. It's all good.
Gosh. Okay, I'll do one more and then I.
All right. There you go. That was a good one.
That's so cool.
Cheers.
Cheers. I can't believe he let me paint that.
I like his foreground background excuse.
Yes, that was good. He gave me a pass on it, so that was good.
Okay, so where are we to next?
Okay, we're going to Wells County. Portland, Oregon artist David Rice made his first visit to Indiana this month in Wells County. He says the community in Bluffton has embraced him and his mural. Rice began painting public art 5 years ago, working under a mentor to learn the craft, and now he's using Mural Fest to give back himself, working alongside a mentee here, showing him his own techniques. Rice's design includes images he says encapsulate the region, like irises and an oriole. Rice says he's grateful the community has been so welcoming. When you put up a mural in a place and you spend time there and you spend all of the effort in learning about that community, like does it ever make you think maybe you want to come back in a few years and see it again?
Yeah, definitely. Working on projects in especially smaller communities, smaller towns, you really get to see how it affects the people that live there, the population, the residents, and it's really fun to see their reaction, and they really take you in and make you feel like one of their own. So yeah, definitely any chance that I can get to go back to any of those places that I've done a project in like that is always a blessing.
Rice had a few mural projects put on hold because of the pandemic, so he was glad to still have Mural Fest.
So next up on the list is Huntington County. What do you think of when you think of Huntington?
Probably Dan Quayle.
There's a museum there. I haven't been there yet myself, but I understand our next artist is having some fun with that history.
I can't wait to see what she's done. And she's from Huntington as well, so that's got to be pretty cool for her.
It's a small town. I knew everybody, mostly everybody. Growing up in Huntington was a safe town, nice people. I remember I went to a garage sale when I was a kid and I saw Thomas Kincaid for the first time. And I'm not a fan of him now, but when I was a kid, that was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I remember being inspired by art earlier on, but not so many artists here in the town. I think I kind of wanted to be that for the town.
People like being proud of the place they come from, and art helps us do that. You know, especially this year of all years, to see this bright, beautiful mural go in, it's a good punch in the arm and a good expression of just hometown pride.
I wanted to incorporate the quails because we have Dan Quayle, and definitely just add so much color because it's the first one we've got big like this.
Do you feel pressure putting something like this in your hometown?
There's no pressure. It's more of just like and I get a little anxious, but excited anxious.
It's definitely interesting to me to work with different artists because every artist works in a different way. So just because I've done different murals in the past, I don't think I know anywhere close to everything. So I'm really excited to see what I can take away from America's perspective on her work.
It's an honor. It's amazing. My whole family lives here, so they get to walk by and see it every day. I have little brothers and sisters, and they are blossoming into artists right in front of me, so that's really cool. I get to show them how to do it.
Up next is Wabash County, North Manchester.
And the artist is an international artist who's born in Mexico City.
Speaking with organizers, it seemed they really wanted to bring someone that had artwork all across the world, and they weren't sure they were going to have it because of the pandemic. But it turns out Remix One, as he goes by, was actually working in the States, so they were able to get him.
And that's how he was able to come to North Manchester. I can't wait to talk to him.
I was born in Mexico City, but I've lived in many countries. St. Louis, I've lived in New York, I've lived in Finland. Next year I'm gonna live on Australia and on Kenya.
His first night at the hospitality house, I said, "Is it too quiet? Do you need a fan?" He said, "No, I love this. I love it." He said it was hard when I was in New York City and just so much going on. I love how quiet and peaceful it is here, and he's in walking distance to everything. The one thing he pointed out to me though is he really wants to go to a farm and milk a cow. So I try not to laugh, but I'm going to make that possible for him.
Well, this one I was thinking about a way for me to empower the people. You know, that's something really important on most of my murals. Okay, a really powerful animal for the people in the United States is the bald eagle. And also then they told me that they have here a big population of these eagles. I was like, dude, this is gonna be perfect. I have my goal, I'm focused, just like the animals.
You've got to be tired.
At the end of the mural, I'm like super extremely exhausted, you know? But because I have this goal, I'm like, it doesn't matter. You just keep going, keep going, keep going.
What did you tell Brooke that you want to do before you leave? At a farm?
Okay. Well, and I've always lived on places that are really, well, not rural at all. So it is kind of a dream coming true for me to go and live on the farm, probably like 1 or 2 days, like waking up super early, milking the cows, doing, I don't know, like, I just want to do it just for the fun, for the love.
Woo!
Well, probably that's it. It's been about the journey of how I started, how it was in the beginning, like when I started like 18 years ago, when everybody used to hate it, you know, everything changed. So now I'm like, it's cool for me to be able to bring this type of art into people that probably at the beginning they were not, they would never agree to have something like this, and now they appreciate it.
Where to?
I'm heading to Kosciuszko County next, Warsaw. Our next artist I'm really excited to hear from. He has done one of the most well-known murals downtown Fort Wayne.
It's the bison.
Let's go meet him.
Okay. Tell me about what you have going on for this mural.
One of the first things that you realize, even just driving through, is you can't go left or right without running into a lake. And so it's a very important aspect of this region. And so this mural, what I've tried to do is pull something together that celebrates both the recreational and the natural life of lake life.
What's been the most challenging part so far? Has there been a challenging part so far?
The challenge is always the surface. I think that's usually the hardest part, because there's a lot of little things that you might look and say, that's a nice wall for a mural, but then you get up close and you realize there's imperfections, there's areas when you want to have to block out moisture getting in, any of those kinds of things. So that's some knuckle grinding work, getting in there and working on that, and it seems to take forever, and you're ready to just paint, but you have to do that to try and make sure it's going to last as long as possible.
Will you use what you've done here in this mural in a lesson for your students?
Yeah, I take all kinds of progress shots of these and walk them through it, and you know, when I teach the class on public art and mural painting, they learn from concept to contract, community meetings, all the way to the final creation and completion of one of these things.
Headed to Whitley County, Columbia City. This artist, no stranger to Northeast Indiana.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Sean Dunwoody, he's from New York, but last year he came and he did a mural in Fort Wayne. So when he found out about the Mural Fest project, he applied. Sean Dunwoody's project recognizes the creator of the Show You soy sauce company. The creator called Columbia City home for many years. Dunwoody hopes the mural will highlight the area's roots to Japan while also showing you what's special about the city.
When I approach a mural, I try to do my research on the community. I also like to hang out, because it's not really so much about how cool or what it is I can create. It's really about how does the community engage with it, adopt it, and own it for themselves.
Dunwoody says he's grateful to expand his connections in Northeast Indiana and says the community has been very inviting during his stay. We have 6 down and 5 more to go. We are just over halfway there, and it's so fascinating to hear from the artists and from the communities to talk about what this mural means to them. When we come back, we'll show you how one artist went from graffiti to a full-time career in murals, and how the pandemic put this tattoo artist out of work for weeks, influencing his vision and future for his career and his family. Northeast Indiana Painted continues in just moments. We're back with Northeast Indiana Painted. We left off in Columbia City, and now we're heading to Noble County's Albion. What do we know about this artist?
Well, it's actually 2 artists, a husband and wife. They have a lot of work in Fort Wayne, but they're really excited to expand into the northern counties.
Very cool. Jared and Kara Tobias of Tobias Studios in Fort Wayne were 2 of several regional artists chosen for Mural Fest. Their theme for the mural was nature, with a fox as the centerpiece. The Tobiases have spent a lot of time in Noble County with their family, and they say they were excited to create a major art piece there.
We've done a lot of pieces in Fort Wayne and haven't really got to branch out much. And Kara and I both grew up in a small town. We appreciate the sense of community in a small town that's a little different. you can't get away with anything in a small town. And I think we already know, like everybody in Albion. Kara's made friends with some of the gals down the street, and they brought us like homemade grape jelly and stuff like that. I mean, where else do you get that kind of... The Hoosier hospitality is in full effect here in Albion, I'll say that much.
Kara and Jared have 2 mentees working with them and said they've been a huge help. Daniel, we're getting closer to your home state.
Yes, actually, this is only 15 minutes away from Michigan, LaGrange in LaGrange County.
Retired DeKalb High School teachers Amy Books and Dave Schlemmer started scaling their artwork from canvas to metal wall, a challenging background to work on, they admitted. Their piece features 2 Holstein cows with a radiant Lone Star quilt behind. Books and Schlemmer both taught for over 3 decades, and they use each other's unique set of skills to pull off what will be a colorful centerpiece for the community.
I taught at DeKalb for around 30 years. The last 13 I taught CAD drafting, and that lends itself to a lot of the design work. Make no mistake about it, Amy is the artist. I just help her blow stuff up.
Yeah, when you teach art for that many years, you're going to get good at it. And so now we have time. You know, you always say you're going to do this and this and this, but you never have time. Well, now we have time.
Book says she hopes this will give those who live in and around LaGrange a sense of pride. She says their reception has been great. They even let some kids passing by paint spots on the cows.
I feel like we're in the final stretch, Krista, heading to Steuben County and Gola.
I have always wanted to go to their balloon festival.
From what I've seen on social media, he's incorporating that into his piece.
Okay, and we're meeting an artist who goes by Aerosol Kingdom.
I started doing graffiti when I was 17. I came to find that when I wasn't writing my name on things, there were people who actually liked what I was doing. It allows you to work in like almost what I'd call like an aggressive manner, where you can just move very fast, you can unload a lot of paint, and you can get things done. I applied specifically for this wall in Steuben County. I was excited that it had all of the lakes and the nature around here. And then when I saw that one of the lakes was named Loon Lake, it seemed like that was an appropriate thing to tie in. I have a huge affinity for painting wildlife in general, so the loon was like the #1 element that I wanted to put in, and then the sunset over Loon Lake itself, and the hot air balloons to represent that festival as well.
Has it been fun to know that you have played a role in introducing something like this, a big piece of public art, to a community in Northeast Indiana where, I mean, you said you haven't really spent time in Indiana, so to bring that here, what's that been like?
A place like this can be very different to paint than like New York City or other metropolitan areas, just because of people's like raw excitement, because sometimes they don't even know what to call it. Like they've never seen a wall that's being painted on that scale. So they have a lot of like curiosity as to how that happens and about the process and how it can even be like possible to do something on this scale. And it's really fun to be able to like travel around to different cities, to experience different parts of the country, and to like leave a piece of myself behind as I go.
It's wildlife, which I love, Loon Lake, the Balloon Festival, all things that I photograph because I'm a wildlife photographer. And I think anything to me that shows the beauty of God's creation, which this does, is something I want to capture. It'll be something that everybody can enjoy. They drive up and down this road, they'll be able to enjoy it and see it, and it'll be great for the community.
Angola is a super small, cute place. In some ways it reminds me of the town that I grew up in outside of Albany. And yeah, I like it a lot. It's got like the historic aspect of it is really beautiful.
Next, we're going to DeKalb and talking to an artist who's working on a much different canvas than he's used to.
Tattooing is an all or nothing kind of medium, and there's really no room for error. With paint, you can layer it and you can create as you go and kind of modify and correct. I have experience as a graffiti artist, but for me, truthfully, I feel like the brush creates more texture. I have more control over the brush. You know, I can kind of sculpt the paint to create the shapes. Quick and easy really wasn't my approach with this. This is a painting that's supposed to last 20, if not 30 years. With the engineering masterpiece like this locomotive, You know, I spent a lot of time memorizing the image before I got here on the wall, so I was familiar with the depth and the caverns of the machinery, and just to know kind of what I'm creating as I'm flowing with the paint.
You were dealt with this big machine that you had to teach yourself how to use. Like, how challenging was that process alone?
It's just a constant sway. Every time I move to the right, to the left, or when I'm dipping my brush or cleaning, I'm getting a little bit of a bounce. So now I feel like I'm kind of dancing with it a little bit. I'm kind of using it to kind of create my stroke and just kind of give myself a solid base. My studio was shut down for 2 months, and it definitely gave me a new perspective on, you know, how vulnerable my medium is, working with tattooing. Today was my boys' first day of school, so I had to drop them off before I came here today. And you know, those are all things that are on my mind as I'm painting. But it's a sprint. Once you get started, you have to just keep going and going and going. I want to be proud 20 years from now when I'm standing here with my sons, you know, looking at this wall and remembering what I was going through during the pandemic, you know, just remembering when and how and why I said yes to this project.
We've come full circle.
We're back in Allen County.
Our next artist is Key Detail.
And this isn't just one artist, this refers to a whole family.
We team based in New York City, and our lifestyle is that we travel a lot around the country, around the world, and we paint murals in different cities. Yes, Max. Fire truck.
Okay, what about Max? Will he paint?
He's our best assistant. He always tries to be in, to paint something.
Is it hard to be a mom and dad and have a little one and to travel like you do?
For me, it's to travel with kids. It's even easier than to live normal life in New York City, because in traveling every day is different. You don't need to think and how to entertain him and what to do. But when we travel, it's exciting for him, I think, and it's good for his development. We like that fact that Fort Wayne geographically situated on 3 rivers. So we took this idea as an inspiration for design and developed our design according to this theme.
11 counties, 11 murals, 11 days. For some artists, it was plenty of time. Others may or may not be finishing up in the days to come. But what would Mural Fest be without a celebration to wrap things up? Northeast Indiana painted. It's not over yet. More on the final hurrah and a word from organizers after the break. And here we are on the culmination, final night of these 11 days of Mural Fest. This was the first time really that all of the artists got together in one location, and for many of them got to meet each other. We were at Promenade Park where the artists celebrated each other and what Mural Fest was able to be. Like so many things in life right now, the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership just had to take another look at what they were doing for this festival. They were just glad they still got to put it on.
We had a lot of hard conversations along the way since we had planned this festival last year, so 2019. We're swimming along. Today was actually supposed to be a really big, large-scale event, and we decided ultimately to really peel that back and really focus on the murals themselves, focus on the art, focus on the communities, and make it about our communities, not so much about a big event.
These 11 artists, they come from so many different backgrounds, experiences with different ideas and voices, and they will all leave Northeast Indiana with a real taste of the community that we have to offer.
The fact that we have our regional artists working alongside national and international artists for this, and all doing really high quality work and all singing the praises of our communities. And I think our Hoosier hospitality really showed through.
Thank you for joining us as we took our own trail throughout Northeast Indiana. We hope you'll be inspired to do the same thing and to see Northeast Indiana painted.